Okay, I've been working myself up to make an interpretation of the Bible about sorrows. And in the Bible, it didn't really give the impression that those women that were with children, they said that women that in this time they will try their usual like problem solution resolution, and and it won't get better. Like things like won't get better like they did in the past, right? Have you noticed, like, like we go into an economic boom time after Vietnam, after there's the boomers, then there's the Vietnam, and after Vietnam, there was another economic boom time. You know what I mean? But being that we are on a pro-war footing with proliferation and sending like HIMARS and shit like that to Ukraine that can hit targets inside of Russia. It's escalation. You know what I mean? And we're trying to get them bogged down and everything, and so we have to be on this pro-war footing, and so it's like, yeah, it's not gonna make it easier for women with children. It's like they don't want to hear anything about it being how they're controlled. If it's monarch, butterfly, Tavistock, or Trotskyist and Fabian Society, the Beatles, and you can do a whole documentary. But they don't want, they're not going to want to hear any of that shit. They're like, ugh, I don't get, like, and they think it's about them if they don't understand some, like, maybe it's just they don't have a way to tell you, like, I'm cool off all that shit right there, buddy. Thank you. I appreciate it and everything, but I'm not doing that right now. Like, you know what I mean? I'm so over all, like, I listened to, I already heard a podcast today talking about that shit. Just go away. No? Just, like, looking for a dialectic they'll try to pry in with an argument, a dialectic, and to try to knock you off of, and all you're doing is just dropping information. I don't know if you're right or wrong yet until it's deemed that you're encroaching, because then it could have a counteracting effect on the information itself that you're trying to pass. If you're abrasive and you're driving away, you know what I'm saying? Because it's the point to whether or not if you're repulsive or not. Are you repellent, or are you attracting the astute to want to listen to what you have to say? Because you have to want to know at some point in time. So it gets to a point like where it's like, because they were inviting you to have a conversation and you're allowed to talk about anything. Oh yes, tell me anything, say anything, doesn't mean that you're allowed to talk about anything and say anything you want. And so they didn't want to let on to that, and they never wanted to let on to they could have just said, there's nothing wrong with saying, like, all right, I'm cool off that right there. You know what I mean? How long are you going to have a discussion before you realize that you've had the discussion? Oh, we've had this discussion, or, you know what I mean? I've never heard anybody remind anybody that they've had the discussion before. Okay, so what is this fucking video starting? I'm like, what the fuck? Where did I die? Is this an important, urgent message or something? I don't know. Maybe it's not even that important. Can't remember. I can't remember. So there's not going to be any, and so much and so forth, and then final, with final regard to issues, yada yada and shmol yada, and with that, I bid my public farewell.